quoth the raven.
Nevermore.
Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door,
quoth the raven.
Nevermore.
why, you little...
Oh,
Come back here, you little raven!
And the raven, ever flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.
Just another movie night.
Hello, everybody. We are Just Another Movie Night. I am Scott.
And I'm Joe.
And this is before and after reviews, except without the before, because we're doing something a little different. We are, well, let's face facts. We don't have the 3.5 hours before I have to go to sleep to get up early in the mornings to go see Martin Scorsese's new film with Leonardo DiCaprio, which is 3.5 hours long. So we're not going to go to the movies. That's the movie we would have seen regularly.
Yeah, we'll have to catch that on a matinee.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to have cut out some time for that, but yeah, I have to work. and I have to sleep.
I also have to work and sleep.
And there's no time for that. So we're going to do something else. We're going to talk about something we really enjoyed and wanted to talk about a little bit, which is the new Mike Flanagan television show on Netflix, The Fall of the House of Usher, which is also ending an era of Mike Flanagan working for Netflix. This is his last hurrah.
This makes me sad when I hear that, because I want him to just do one show after the next.
Yeah, he's done 5 shows now. 1 movie with Netflix. It's been a killer run, and I'm shocked to see him go from it. I am hoping and a little nervous because I know that the man really wants to make the Dark Tower television show. Mm-hmm. And I know that he, I believe, has bought the rights.
Yeah.
And if that's what he's going to go do at Amazon, I'm excited. But I know a lot of people give this guy shit. The guy has done the best Stephen King adaptations. Him and Frank Darabont are like the kings of doing Stephen King.
Agree.
Yeah, he did Gerald's Game for Netflix, which is a Stephen King story. Mm-hmm. He also did Dr. Sleep, which was a movie. Mm-hmm. And they both rock.
They really do, yeah.
I mean, I like Dr. Sleep more. I think that the fact that he was able to pull that movie off is a testament to how great of a director and a writer he is. That's just me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to talk about the show. There's so much to talk about here, I think. This is, this show, you would think automatically that he's just going to basically do his interpretation of the Edgar Allan Poe story or poem, The Fall of the House of Usher. Where I think it's a short story, I believe. But instead, very creatively, the show did numerous Edgar Allan Poe works in one show.
Yeah, and in fact, all of the episodes are titled.
Yes, they are titled after the themes.
Yeah.
But this is just some of the things that he brought together doing the show. I wrote a little bit of a list here. The show incorporates short stories, The Fall of the House of Usher, of course, Pit and the Pendulum, The Mask of the Red Death, The Murderers in the Rue Morgue, The Black Cat, The Telltale Heart, The Gold Bug, Never Bet the Devil Your Head, and poems like Annabel Lee, City in the Sea, The Raven, Lenore, and Tamerlane Lane, and also his only novel, which is the narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket, which is a really cool thing because it's like you can go after watching the show and you're interested in what the characters might be talking about. You can actually go read that, and it might give you backstory to a character, which is very cool. Yeah. I think. There's only 8 episodes. He took directing duties. He did half of the 8 episodes. He did 4 episodes. Mike Flanagan. He finally teamed up with his longtime cinematographer and director of photography since Oculus, Michael. Oh, I'm gonna try to pronounce this. Feminari. I'm gonna try.
I'm not even gonna try it.
Yeah, so they teamed up. They did half and half. Very seamless. Mm-hmm. I think the episodes they both shared directing. I felt like it was seamless. It feels like both directors could have been one and the same, and that can show you how much this partnership was very important to all of his movies that he's been working with. This partnership, which is really neat, and the shows that he's done.
Yeah, he happened to have directed my my favorite episode of this show. So I was.
Which one? Which director?
Mike Flanagan.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He direct. Okay. Yeah. The writing too is interesting too. He's got his brother. He's a longtime collaborator with his brother, Jamie Flanagan. There's other writers like Rebecca Klingel. I'm so bad with names. You should take over the name duty. Danny Parker, and oddly enough, Kylie Sanchez, who we know as Nikki on Lost. That's
no
odd.
Way.
Yeah, the Nikki and Paulo episodes of Lost. Very strange episodes.
Wow.
Yeah, some reason she worked on this with them as some kind of co-writer or teleplay. I couldn't tell what episode in particular she was in charge of, but it does say 1, but then it says all, which was very confusing to me.
Okay.
But that was interesting, I thought. Yeah, this is I don't know, this is such a creative, interesting show that it's kind of like so much to talk about. I think that's like the hardest thing about this.
Are we going to do spoilers for people who haven't?
No spoilers.
Okay.
There's no need to, I think.
No.
I think there's an easier way. We don't have to give anything away.
Okay, I'm going to have to tell my friend because she wasn't going to listen to this today.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, I want to watch the show. So I'll tell her we're not going to do spoilers.
Yeah, tell her I'm sorry for butchering all those names. I'm so bad at it. Now, one thing to get out of the way, because this is a big deal. This had a controversy behind the scenes because originally Frank Langella was hired to play Usher, the main character.
Oh, okay.
And he was fired off the show because of sexual harassment charges.
Yeah.
Apparently,
so
he was
telling
telling
Roderick.
Yes, he was playing the lead character the show's revolving around, and apparently he was making jokes that were sexual in nature, and it freaked out people on the set. And how weird of the actor's career. He's doing the fall of the House of Usher, and an actor's career tumbled during the movie making. It's kind of
weird.
That's kind of a strange. Yeah. So last minute, they had already started filming. They had to scrap off his scenes and get a new actor to come in, and they replaced him last minute with Bruce Greenwood.
He's great.
Who's worked with Flanagan before in Gerald's Game, Dr. Sleep. So he's already had a relationship, working relationship with him, but he had to come in last minute and redo scenes.
Well, I can tell you he nailed it.
Now, I was wondering, was CG involved? But I heard no. I heard that they had a meltdown. They basically made all these actors do these scenes again.
Wow.
And I don't know the intensity to that, how much was done, but I can imagine that caused some tension. But maybe for the better, which is odd to say, because I feel like the actors have a already like a need to be on edge or going a little crazy, the characters in the show. So that might have helped it push them in that direction of being a little more out of control.
Yeah, I get it.
I wonder how much was filmed. I wonder if this was like an Eric Stoltz, Michael J. Fox replacement
Yeah.
type of thing with Back to the Future.
They gave him the boot after
Yeah.
he had already filmed some scenes.
And you can actually find those scenes of Eric Stoltz, which is crazy. They
Yeah.
did a lot of
You
stuff.
can find that crap on YouTube.
I wonder how much was here because I keep thinking about scenes in this movie, the show, and thinking, wow, what did they make these people do again? You know, because there's a lot of intense moments.
Oh my God, this whole show had me just, I mean, I was completely captivated
Yeah.
throughout the show. And I can totally say that with like 1000% certainty that it was Carla Gugino who she just kept me in it. Like, I mean, she just kept me completely like mystified. She was so great in this.
I think, yeah, I mean, if I guess, I don't know. Do you want to start talking about the cons and then get into those positives, or just do positives?
I mean, I love this show.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just talk about the good stuff. I mean, for me, if you want to do cons first.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's easier to get out of the way because
Okay. Well, it's going to be easy for me.
This will be funny because I wrote down 6 cons.
Oh, okay. My list is shorter.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you actually wrote them down.
And I didn't write them down.
Okay, you
They're in
have
my
them.
brain cells, so I have them. But yeah, go ahead. You go first.
Let's just start with a couple. I mean, this is very. These are very weak, these cons, but I think they're easy to talk about. All right, so my number 1 that I wrote down was, and not in order or anything like that, but the first one I wrote down was, at times in the show, especially during the flashbacks to the 80s, the characters will talk completely out of time period. They say things like baller and fuck, marry, kill in the 80s.
Yeah, I don't think that was like
Baller
basic
was
terminology.
definitely not around yet.
I mean, do we know for sure? I mean,
That's
someone
a 2000s. That's a late 2000s
mean,
rapper.
weren't basketball players saying, "Hey," you know, like how they would say baller, like you're a baller, like in a different sense.
They wouldn't use it as slang.
Not like
not a guy coked up saying you're a real baller.
Okay. No, not like that.
I
You're
don't.
right.
I
They
just
would-
don't think it felt really out of era,
Yeah,
to me.
a
And
little.
also, fuck, marry, kill. I don't know how long that's been going around, but I had never heard of that until later when I was a kid.
Okay, well, that's stuff that I kind of was like, you know, it didn't
I
bother
don't
me.
think it's around, but it was odd. It just felt out of place for certain
Mm-hmm.
characters to say that in the time that they were. I don't know. It's very weak, like I said, but there are some incidences like that seems strange.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of removing you a little bit from the time period. That's all I felt. And you know, I could be wrong. Those could be things that people said back then. I don't know. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
So, 2. Oh, my second one here is now because they had to replace Frank Langella with Bruce Greenwood. I wonder how fast that they have to do this change. But it is very obvious that he is very close in age to one of his sons. And I had to look it up that he is 15 years older than Henry Thomas.
Well, maybe he was a busy teenager, you know? I'm just saying.
Well, we see the character young, so it doesn't
Yeah.
really click.
I
But
mean,
yeah, 15 years younger. And I would say that Bruce Greenwood looks amazing.
I think he looks
He
great.
does not look like an older man.
No,
to
I
me.
think he's handsome. I
He's
think
just, yeah.
he's great.
The next one was that the series, and this is not a drawback for me, but I can see this bothering a shitload of people. And I'm going to put it out there right now. The show can be preachy in the sense that it's going out of its way to say, yes, we have an agenda. We have a political viewpoint, and we're going to point it out a lot. And not only are there pictures shown, there's also quotes. And then the ending can get a little over your head with beating you to the idea that money's bad and all that kind of stuff, and society is fucked up. And some people do not like that. Some people feel like they're getting tricked in. I get it, and I can see why that would bother some people. Some people don't want stuff like that pushed into everything they watch, and I get that. There is definitely a place, but I also think there is a place when the whole point is the fall of a rich house or the crumbling of somebody in high society. That's the point. So you're already going in, and that's the ideal, and the ideas behind the story in the first place. You shouldn't be shocked, but I want to put it out there that can be seen as a huge con for a lot of people.
Okay, political stuff, I get it.
Political, and right now, political. Like, they went out of their way.
Yeah.
A bunch of times.
They did. I will agree with that.
I will also say that at times, some of the characters feel a little rushed through, especially in the last couple episodes. A couple of the characters in particular feel like they just are like rushed through. I feel like in the last two, a bunch of characters are pushed into those episodes. There's like 6 or 5 5 characters in particular who are all explored, which is every episode leading up to those last two, which is 6 episodes. Like 5 of those episodes are dedicated to a character virtually. There's other stuff going on in the backgrounds, but one theme.
Yeah.
And those last 2 episodes have multiple things to deal with. This is one of those rare times that I would have been okay with 10 episodes. I would have been okay with that kind of stuff. But I get it. I don't know if they were pressed for time because of the reshoots. I don't know if there was more to it. Backing off of less like character, quieter moments. This has a lot to do, a lot to get through quickly. So I can see that as a little bit of a flaw. But
I mean, yeah, that kind of goes into one of mine too. So yeah, I get it.
Can you add to it then?
Okay, yeah. Well, I felt that a lot of the characters, the unseen characters, weren't fleshed out enough. What I mean by that is that they're, without spoiling anything, there's multiple mothers of these children.
Yeah, that would have been interesting to get
I
more
would
of.
really like to know a little bit about what happened. See, we get a lot of what happened with one mother, but like.
And not enough, too, I would
Not
say.
enough, but we get, they show her a lot. But there are other mothers. He has 6 children. They are all from different mothers except for 2. And I feel as though we should have gotten a little bit more on that because it's hard to look at this man, look at the children, and then know that they obviously have like, a mother of different ethnicity. And how would his children look like this?
Yeah.
Unless maybe one of them was adopted or something like that. There's not enough fleshing out of the mothers and how the children became his children. Like, were they born from the mothers or were they adopted?
They definitely are born. We have that definitely told to us. But
okay.
I would say that I do understand what you're saying, and I wonder how much of that goes to maybe its own kind of con, that Flanagan has a group of people that he works with. He has used every single person in this show multiple times each. That's one of the things I like, and I wish that this like 4 shows that he did on here in particular are kind of all based around a house. They all have a theme to it.
Yes.
Well, not actually, just 3 of them, I believe. Yeah. Midnight Mass doesn't really do that.
No, but like the Haunting of Bly Manor and
Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
And I would say that even maybe the Midnight Club, which we didn't get to watch. We only watched 1 episode. We should have went back, but we never did. It didn't grab us in the first one, but that's another con. But I will say that I'll get to that in a minute. But I will say, going to your point. Yeah, I think some of the characters maybe were picked because he has a core group.
Yeah, and I understand, but I mean...
And he writes for these specific actors, you can tell.
Yeah, of course he does, But I'm just saying, like, excuse me.
You know what? Go ahead, I'm sorry, and I'll say what
I was going to say, like, characters like, like Leo, Usher, Perry, and Vic Usher. Like you can tell they're different ethnicities.
Well, they showed their
you know?
moms, but yeah, I agree with you.
But I mean, we need a little bit more,
It would have been interesting, and that goes to the 10-episode thing. It would have been interesting to
Right.
have more flashbacks or more exploring them.
Yeah, because we hands down get more on Frederick Usher and Tamerlane Usher than we do on the other ones. Like I need to know a little bit more. Like even if Camille, like we didn't even see her mom. So
Yeah.
I mean, she looks like she could be related to Roderick Usher, but
They gave a little bit of a background to it, but yes. They talked about it very small, but yes, it's in there.
it's a little bit. But I just need more.
It would also go to the emotional aspect. If they had a little more time, they could have spent a little more emotional to each thing, to each episode, and the tolls to those types of things that happen in each episode. That could have also been a definitely done. And I think what I was about to say was, I always thought that this series, all these shows, these miniseries that he did, should have been under the house, like Mike Flanagan's Houses or whatever like that, or like a show title, and each season was its own thing. Like a bunch of other shows have tried to do. I think American Horror Story does that now, right?
Yeah.
Where each season is its own theme.
Yes.
So it would have been interesting because what I like about it is I think American Horror Story does this as well, is that they have the same cast and they kind of change up the cast members into different characters each season.
Well, I mean, this time they decided to do the House of Kardashian.
Well, no, she's
so
in
I'm
there.
like,
But
why are we?
I think that some of the other actors are his norms.
I
Or
don't
that
know.
person's like norm. I think that's why I was saying about Flanagan is that each season seems to be the same cast, but changed up to a new theme.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Side note: we don't watch American Horror
We
Story.
don't. I was just
at
talking.
all.
I know that a lot of the actors. I know there's a couple big actresses that are always in the seasons.
I really don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I just knew that Lady Gaga was in it, and I get a lot of crap from people like gasping, like, "You're a horror fan and you don't watch American Horror Story? What's wrong with you?"
We definitely tried. People.
We tried.
We
Okay,
tried.
we tried, and I just could not do it.
The second season in particular, I wanted to watch the first, but we started with the second, and it was just too much, and it was very MTV feeling.
Yeah, and
It
now
had,
that they
like,
have reality stars on it,
The
I
singer
don't know.
Maroon 5 was in there in an insane
Yeah.
asylum getting killed. I
Yeah.
was like, this feels
I'm like,
weird.
no, I'm not doing it.
But I have heard there are good things about it, so I definitely would love to definitely watch the first season because the first season is really good. But I don't know if the other ones are any better or whatnot. But yeah, going on, I think I was just about to say another con. Is a problem with Flanagan shows in particular, or Flanagan, maybe all of his work. They have very set up openings. The first episodes of all the shows are very set up. They have a thing to do introducing characters. But what happens is those first episodes get a little dull.
Yeah.
And I would say that again, with almost all the shows, the second episode is the one that hooks you.
I will definitely say that. That is
Yeah.
for sure.
The first one we weren't like, and then we
Yeah.
watched the second one and we're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch more.
Yes.
I think that happened to all of them. I know a lot of people who watched Bly Manor and had a problem with it. The first few episodes were slow. Mm-hmm. But if you stick with it, it is the hugest payoff.
Yeah, it's
Every
really
episode
great.
got better and better. And the last half of that miniseries were amazing.
Yeah, I want to go back and watch it again because
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed it.
Really like that.
You have another con?
One more, I think I wrote something that breaks moments is this odd choice of putting Netflix references where a character in the show actually puts on Netflix and they pass by Gerald's game.
Oh, okay. That was a little gratuitous.
A little
Yeah.
gratuitous, especially since Mike Flanagan himself is on television at one part.
Yeah. It was a little bit much.
It's a little too much
Yeah.
sometimes. I get the Alfred Hitchcock one, but to put Netflix in your Netflix show, it only works when you're mocking it like Black Mirror does.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. I understand that. I thought that was a little goofy too.
It's a little moment breaking.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Did you have more?
I do. Well, we already talked about my not fleshing out of the mothers. That was bothersome. But I will say that there's something that bothered me in the show that I understand that this is not everybody else's reality. This is the Usher's reality. This is the life that they're living.
Yeah.
However, there's a crime scene, okay, where there is, possibly evidence, fingerprints, shoe prints, whatever. And the police just allow their lawyer, played by Mark Hamill, to go in there and just rough everything up, take evidence out, trample the crime scene, put his fingers all over everything. They let him go in there before they took the goddamn bodies out of the place, And it's like, okay, first of all, that does not happen in real life. I don't care who you are.
You think that, but you know that's not true.
These people.
There's so much contamination of crime scenes,
You don't
especially from the rich.
First of all, a lawyer is allowed to go into a crime scene before the police?
So
I don't think so.
There's multiple references to that happening about, I don't know who you know. I don't know how they're letting you do this. There's no way you're going to allow. And then they call and they say, you have to do this.
I mean,
it's about basically them having stuff on people higher up.
Okay, that's
So
fine, but they don't
get
reference that. They should
They
actually
did.
tell us
They
that.
basically said that they called somebody, and then they said that. Well, and I'm gonna explain something later on. Off tape. I'm gonna explain something to you that you completely are not looking at and forgetting about a little bit, because a lot of characters in the show talk about how the ushers are untouchable, and it's like you're Teflon. You can't. Nothing. Everything bounces off of you. It does get explained.
I get that, and I do remember them explaining it. However, I still think this is just my opinion. I think it's a bit ridiculous.
I'll tell you later.
It's a bit ridiculous. That's just one of my things that I found wrong with it.
We definitely look. I'm not to get political, but there are some people in politics right now getting away with tons of crimes.
Oh, I understand that. I do.
It's like when you have dirt and you have money and you have all this stuff, things definitely go in a different direction. We definitely know that. People are, white collar workers, blue collar workers or whatever, are going to jail for possession of marijuana. It's just ridiculous. But the rich hardly go to jail.
Oh, I know.
And they get out in a month.
I know. The rich are above everybody, but I'm just saying, I just think it's a little bit extra letting the lawyer go in and contaminate all the evidence.
I think it definitely goes to the theme, and I think it definitely gets explained. But yes, I get it.
Yeah,
it could be a little bit of a shock to whatever when a person's watching it. They'll be like, what the fuck? But even the characters, the cops, are saying the same thing that you're saying. It's done on purpose.
I know. It gets explained, and I understand that, and I get it. I know it gets explained. It's just annoying to me. It's annoying to me when I'm watching the show because I'm like, come on. Come on now.
But you're supposed to be feeling just like that cop who's trying to stop it.
Yeah,
and they're like,
I do.
Who the fuck do you know?
Like, who are you?
Who's allowing you to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then my one other thing that I had a problem with, not even a problem. It was just, I guess it's just how it is, but I really just thought that the amount of, being completely emotionally removed from your own children, I feel like that was just, beyond diabolical. Yeah. Like, at some point it made me feel like Roderick Usher was the devil, because he completely had no feelings towards any of his children at all. It was just bonkers to me. Bonkers. And I don't care if they're bastards or whatever they are, but bottom line.
Try not to get too spoiler here, but
no, I'm just saying, it just have some freaking feelings, it's like something.
Yeah, I kind of tried to say that a little bit ago while we were talking about the need for a couple more episodes maybe, and I was saying that there could have been an emotional attachment aspect to it a little bit, and of showing you emotional toll.
Yeah.
A little bit more could have been done to at least go here. But I think this all wraps up really well in the last episode, because there's a lot of things explained in the last episode that will make you go, oh, okay. But yeah, I do agree with you. There is a huge... The plot likes to jump forward. Yeah. And I think that's where I was definitely saying press for time feeling. there are aspects that feel pressed for time. That is definitely something that would have been better to have a little bit more episodes to deal with that. But I will admit, there are a lot of people who do not like that time saving. There's a lot of people who hate what wasting time. They want to get through things.
Yeah.
And I'm for those small moments, those moments of quiet, of reflection, or just of character, just their acting in their face. And I could have used more of that here. I would say that Bly Manor and Midnight Mass and A Haunting of Hill House on a lesser, I think definitely Bly Manor and Midnight Mass do this wonderfully. They took their time. It's about those moments, and it's about like those character moments.
Yes, I like character moments.
I heard as a clip of Mike Flanagan's wife, who's an actress on the show.
Yeah, doesn't she play Camille? Yeah.
Siegel, or what is it? I don't want to butcher the name there, but
Kate Siegel.
Kate Siegel. She said that her husband's idea here was to do giallo. I don't know if you heard this before, but he said that she said she didn't know what that was before. She'd never heard of the term.
Oh, wow.
And she says it's like Suspiria. He wanted to make a gothic, more Italian horror vibe that he had done before in his other shows. He said a lot of the other shows really went for the monologues. A lot of people get turned off. It's actually become a mocking point for Flanagan to have those monologues. I would say they're still here, and they're fantastic. But a lot of it has to do with the poetry aspect of it.
Yeah.
But yes, I think that's fascinating to hear that she's saying that he was trying to go for more for giallo.
That kind of like gets me. Like I love that.
It makes it definitely more interesting to see it through that viewpoint, because I guess we're getting to our pros now with that point, because I for pros I just wrote everything else.
That's so funny because I feel the same way.
Yeah.
But I really want to say that the acting is superb.
Yeah.
Carla Gugino being on screen anytime, any moment that woman is on screen, I am completely captivated. And I just love everything about her, and I love everything she's doing in this.
Yeah, she is incredible. Yeah. She's doing stuff in here that's fantastic. They gave her so much, and she's got to be a huge muse to him, because every show she's been stellar.
Yeah,
it's
always been amazing.
We've always known she was a great actress, but she has never really been used properly.
Right.
But watching every show she's done with them, it just comes out so heavy.
It's just a winning combo, the two of them. It's just been winning.
She is fantastic. There's an episode in particular, I think it's episode 3. There's some acting level that floored me, just shocked me. I was like, wow, she's doing so much.
Yeah.
And we're talking about monologues.
Oh my God. She has so many great monologues in this, though.
She has moments.
So many.
And the funniest part is you don't have to wait long, because the second episode gives you a monologue moment. This moment between two characters just talking, and it's just very simple.
Who are you? I know everybody here. I chose this guest list very carefully, and I have no idea who you are.
You can take off your mask, Prospero.
You know my name?
I know everyone here. It's my kind of party. It's yours too, isn't it?
You like it?
I do. The music, the lights, the beautiful flesh. So pretty and soft. But the smells of it. All that sweat, the perfumes, the lotions, the musk. Sex, yes. But with a dash of Rome. Tell me, and don't lie. Is it everything you wanted it to be?
Not yet. Almost.
Nearly realized is the sweetest. It's better, I promise. In the moment, just before and in the moment after. That is the truth of this world. But you did it. And it's everything you imagined. And there's still time.
To what?
To stop it. Things like this, all things in fact, have consequences.
But man, it just hammers a feeling, a vibe, and the music, and the way it's shot, and how she's using body language.
Okay, you're
is
talking
stellar.
about the Mask of the Red Death episode?
Yes.
That's episode number 2.
That's right. Yeah. Episode 2.
Yeah.
There's, and again, monologues. You know, I know that they were saying they wanted to back off because that's become like a cliche with Flanagan, that he has really good monologues. He gives these actors an entire page of dialogue to read in one shot takes. Fantastic, though.
It's amazing.
It's incredible, and she has some great punch.
Yeah.
I will also point out that so does Bruce Greenwood. Bruce Greenwood, if this was an accidental casting, he's fantastic. I would say maybe a little more on the emotional side. Now, the actor who is playing him younger in the show, I feel like they casted him because maybe he looks a little more like Frank Langella. Because he has a certain kind of eye structure than Bruce Greenwood does. They both have bigger eyes. Bruce Greenwood has smaller eyes. And he's also an actor who has a certain style of acting. Frank Langella is intense. Bruce Greenwood brings more of a boyish charm to his characters.
Yeah, he does. And he emanates that rich asshole.
Well, that's what I found interesting here. This might have been a really great accidental casting because I feel like he brings not only the boyish charm that could lure people into whatever he wants, but he also can turn the switch and be that rich asshole. When he screams in the show, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to point out that he also has a monologue that is very early on in the show. And it is killer. And it is one of those moments that just listening to the dialogue, just having the dialogue brought to you, the way that he is using his body as well, it's incredible. And it definitely sets the tone, each episode getting better and better and better.
When life hands you lemons,
Make lemonade.
no. First, you roll out a multimedia campaign to convince people lemons are incredibly scarce, which only works if you stockpile lemons, control the supply, then a media blitz. Lemons are the only way to say I love you, the must-have accessory for engagements or anniversaries. Roses are out, lemons are in, billboards that say she won't have sex with you unless you've got lemons. You cut De Beers in on it. Limited edition lemon bracelets, yellow diamonds called lemon drops. You get Apple to call their new operating system OS Lemon. Little accent over the O. You charge 40% more for organic lemons, 50% more for conflict-free lemons. You pack the capital with lemon lobbyists. You get a Kardashian to suck a lemon wedge in a leaked sex tape. Timothy Chalamet wears lemon shoes at Cannes. Get a hashtag campaign. Something isn't cool or tight or awesome. No, it's lemon. Did you see that movie? Did you go to that concert? It was effing lemon. Billie Eilish, OMG, hashtag lemon. You get Dr. Oz to recommend 4 lemons a day and a lemon suppository supplement to get rid of toxins, because there's nothing scarier than toxins. Then you patent the seeds. You write a line of genetic code that makes lemons look just a little more like tits, and you get a gene patent for the tit lemon DNA sequence. You cross-pollinate, you get those seeds circulating in the wild, and then you sue the farmers for copyright infringement when that genetic code shows up on their land. Sit back, rake in the millions, and then, when you're done, And you've sold your lempire for a few $1 billion, then, and only then, you make some fucking lemonade.
Yeah, I
It's
agree with that. I mean, I think everyone in this is like an ensemble. This is a great cast. But
everybody brings something to the table.
they really do. But no, I'm sorry. There's nobody that outshines Carla Gugino in this. She's so beautiful and amazing, and she's just the way her presence is on screen. It captivates you. It's like looking at Emilia Clarke when she's dressed as Khaleesi. I hate to say, and I'm not trying to be mean, but looking at Emilia Clarke in, being Emilia Clarke, she doesn't have the same presence that Khaleesi does.
Yeah.
Carla Gugino is beautiful.
And she gets to do what I would say is multiple parts, which is really great. She gets to do characters.
Yep.
Which is watching her range. And it's great.
Yep.
Every time it flips, every time it goes to a new thing, it's like a whole nother person, but you know it's that actress. And I love that. They're not really trying to hide it's her, but it just feels like a new person.
Yeah.
And it does work really well.
She does it. She just kills it.
Yeah.
She kills it. It's awesome. Do you want to do our ratings of the episodes?
Yeah, I guess a couple more pros. I just want to say that the directing again is flawless. I didn't catch his signature one take panning shots, although there is a spinning shot in the end that looked like a one take where they might have used multiple people in the background to keep moving things around. That's great. I will also point out, I guess we should say this. People might be expecting horror. It really depends on what your interpretation of horror is.
His past movies have been a lot of visuals where there's dead bodies and people swinging from the chandelier or hanging there and things like that.
It's here.
It's here too.
It's definitely here, but I would say that this might be less of the scare for some people because a lot of people have these different interpretations of what scares them.
Yes, and there are a couple jump scares here.
Back when Edgar Allan Poe was writing this stuff, this kind of stuff was horror. This creeped people out. This scared people. These were poems and stuff that just gave people weird feelings, and it's the vibe of it. Now, does that kind of translate into what people see as horror now? No, because kids are growing up. They have their own new versions of everything, and all the things that scared us when we were young, now
kids
they're
laugh
laughing.
They laugh at that.
It definitely things build, but what I love about this was it's trying to blend in those different genres, like trying to do that gothic horror of Poe, mixing it in with that giallo feel, and then going for that political shows not even political shows, but shows like Succession, going for that, merged in with those, with some horror, with some gore.
Oh yeah, there's gore in this. And I can promise you that.
There's some fantastic gore, and I actually think some great jumps again.
Yeah, there's some jump scares. Like I said, there's some jump scares.
I will say that nothing has gotten me like the Haunting Hill House backseat jump.
Oh, forget it.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, there's nothing.
That's a class act in jump scares.
I literally jumped out of my skin.
I jumped off out of the seat. It was one of the rare times I've ever done something like that.
Yeah.
It actually really got me, and that's because when you set up a character or you set up a moment where you feel safe, and that's when you do it.
Yes.
That's how you get it.
He's really great at that.
He's nailing that.
Yes.
I will just have to say real fast that Flanagan is, to me, when people ask about what is the new horror director, who's the new horror director that you think is killing it, it's him.
It's Mike Flanagan. And and I wish to God they gave him The Exorcist. I wish they gave him The Exorcist, and I wish they gave him the new Twilight Zone, because I know that he would do great things if he had the Twilight Zone. I knew it. I know he would. I love that show. It is a classic. It is like one of my favorite shows pretty much ever. It's actually probably I think it's my second favorite show of all time. And I feel like if they were going to do this, Jordan Peele's great, whatever. But we only watched 2 episodes and we were done because I just couldn't.
Well, Jordan Peele really wasn't writing it. He was just hosting it. He was doing the Rod Serling
But he also had a hand in bringing it, to fruition, I heard. So if I'm just saying, if Mike Flanagan was given these properties, I think he would really nail it.
That's funny because I think that Twilight Zone might not be in his wheelhouse. He does more of a, personal thing, not twists. Twilight Zone is more of a twist show. It always kind of worked for me for Shyamalan and Jordan Peele because their movies are twists. They're basing themselves off a twist.
Yeah,
You know,
but you can't
whereas
put him
Flanagan
in.
is a story about people. Well, every
Yeah.
time it's people in these situations.
He's different. He's different.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's one person I would trust to take over something as beloved as the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
But
That's why I'm really excited if he finally gets to do what he wants with Dark Tower.
yeah.
It's one of those properties that deserves to have a good adaptation of it, and it got that really bad one. We still haven't seen it, by the way, but I've
Because
heard
we're so
nothing.
reluctant.
But yeah,
We don't want to.
I want to see it. I want to see everything. But yeah, all right. So you want to move on to we're gonna rank what we think is the episodes best.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the best, starting at the top, the best to the least best. I'm not gonna say worst because there's no bad episodes here. But my favorite episode of this show has to be episode number 2, The Mask of the Red Death. The imagery in this episode was so freaking mind-boggling, and it was just all about just debauchery, and there was so much like beauty in the debauchery. And I can't really explain it without spoiling it, but it was just a beautiful, well-directed episode, and I loved it. That was my favorite one.
It's definitely the one that hooks you. And what's really unique about it is you start realizing that each episode has a theme, either dedicated to Poe's writing, but it also has color schemes, and there is a certain uniqueness depending on who the character is, who's the focus, and the show will revolve around that episode, and that's really something that grabs you. I had that at number 5.
At number 5. Wow.
It's the one that hooks you, but I think it keeps getting better from there.
Okay. Well, my second favorite episode was Murder in the Rue Morgue. That was the one that you're describing, Carla Gugino's monologue. That was...
Well, no, the monologue I was talking about was actually from the second episode.
Oh, was it? Okay.
The Rue Morgue is
incredible.
It's just there's some acting in the end, and also
Yeah.
some use of fright that is really great.
Yeah.
That is my second as well.
Okay, good. So then I also, for number 3, I put episode number 7, The Pit and the Pendulum. That episode just had me just cheer, like almost on the edge of my seat, like cheering. I can't explain it without spoiling, but yeah, it was a great episode.
It's satisfying.
Satisfying, yes.
It's a really interesting episode because
Yes.
it has a satisfying ending to one thing.
Yes.
But yeah, it also has a really interesting color scheme. I will say that Henry Thomas is really going smarmy, like the most smarmy, most aggravating human being on the earth when you get to that episode.
Top.
And so it might be a little too over the top for some people, so I see that as well. I put that as number 4.
Oh, okay. For my number 4, I chose number 5, episode number 5, The Telltale Heart.
I put that as 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that actress is great.
She is. She's
She's
fantastic.
great. And there's the one moment of getting Bruce Greenwood to show him a little more emotional.
Yes, that was the episode I was like, oh my God, I think he actually almost shed a tear.
He does, and
But
that's great.
yeah,
It's filmed awesome. That is very giallo.
it is.
Episode.
It is,
There's
and I think that's why I love it. So you had that at number 3 for yourself?
Yes.
Okay, so I had the next episode that I love is number 4, and that was The Black Cat. That one was interesting. It was different.
Yeah, that's another great actor doing some really good stuff. There's some cool. I think this is the most Poe feeling episode.
That's what I was
overall.
gonna say. I was like, I felt that in this one more than the other ones. In some instances,
It felt like a more of a short story.
it did. Yeah, it did. And where'd you have that one?
6.
Oh, okay. What was I on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that was my number 6. My number 6. We're going from best to least best. So yeah. So So the one after that, I had episode number 1, which was Midnight Dreary. Because, like you said, that was just kind of like a setup.
Oh, wow.
You
Okay.
had it at number 1?
No, I have that as 8.
Oh, okay. So it's your least favorite.
It was the one that was, it's starting it out, it's trying to hook you, but it doesn't really successfully get you there. I think the second one does that.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
So
Okay.
that was my least
Yeah.
favorite overall.
Okay, Midnight Dreary that's episode number 1.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So then I had number 6. That was Goldbug.
Goldbug.
And where was that on yours?
That was number 7 for me.
Okay, same.
So your least favorite is what?
My very least favorite is The Raven, the last episode.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The last episode, and you know why, because I was telling you about it.
It is my favorite. It is number 1 for me.
Okay.
This episode does so much.
Okay. All right. I mean, yeah, we can
So
talk about
much
it later,
happens.
but I mean, there's, a lot happens.
And also all of the poetry.
Yes.
It's awesome. It's fantastic.
It is there's, like I said, there is not
imagery.
one bad episode, not one bad episode. All of these episodes are great. But when I'm going from, my favorite to my least favorite, I'm going to say that The Raven episode number 8 was not my favorite. It was my least favorite because there was just a couple of missing elements for me, and then some things that I felt should not have happened.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
That's why I liked it, because it didn't back away from what it was doing. Mm-hmm. And it could have easily done something. I actually thought it was going to do something, but I was really happy it didn't. I was really happy that it went full on commit.
Yeah.
So,
what is your overall rating of the show?
well, yeah, that's the thing, right? What do you give this out of 10? We usually do 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I've been thinking about this since we finished it last night, and I really thoroughly enjoyed the show so much that I'm giving it a 9.
giving it a 9, straight up. This is one of the weirdest things. I asked you, should we rank the 4 shows that we've seen of his?
Okay, well, I didn't really know. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I didn't do that at all. I'm not like thinking about that.
I only did it because I have loved these shows.
I do too. And, the Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, I will say that if I had to choose between, say, 1, 2, and 3, I'm going to say that this one was just freaking rad. I loved it.
This is a shock for me because it was a very big toss-up between Haunting of Hill House and this show.
Yes, agree. Yeah.
And I actually think this might edge out right now overall, because when I watched The Haunting of Hill House, it blew my mind.
Yeah, same.
But I think this one edges out because of that. By the way, I'm just going to say this. If you watch this, and if you watch Haunting of Hill House for the first time too, look at the backgrounds as much as possible. Mm-hmm. They hide stuff. Yes. This show actually does it too.
Yeah, they do.
It hides Edgar Allan Poe all over its shots.
Yeah.
Everything from stained glass to books to whatever. There's references all over the show. We didn't even talk about half the actors, by the way. They're all great.
Yeah, there's tons of actors. It's an ensemble. Like I said, it is an ensemble cast.
Everybody gets a moment to shine.
Yes.
Everybody gets a great bit. But yeah, this was the first time I was like, you know what? I think this might edge out just because of that love letter to this poet. Mm-hmm. And some people might say the opposite of that, but I completely disagree. I think that it was beautifully crafted. Just every scene, every shot, every reference was flawless to me. Mm-hmm. I couldn't get enough, and I didn't want it to end, and it made me, and this is why I give it a 9. It made me want to go read everything Edgar Allan Poe again. Mm-hmm. I did when I was a kid. I would love to go back. It made me want to do that, and that, to me, is a successful adaptation. When it makes you want to absorb all of that writer. And I think that's beautiful, and I think that if you're going for anything, that's what you're going for.
Yeah.
So it falls to that top spot for me. Of course, Midnight Mass is the one that is the lesser for me. of his shows.
Yeah.
I understand. I loved it though.
Well, we did not care much for the ending.
We didn't like the ending too much. Over time, I've thought about it a lot and I've given it more. But that show is the one show of his that has maybe the opening is the best and the ending is the part that I didn't like.
Yeah.
It's the first time it reverses. But that is also a very amazing show of acting and writing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Blind Manor's right in the middle there for me.
Yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
I love it. Now, you have to do me a huge favor, and you have to go and do your segment, Why We Can't Have Nice Things. And you have to go and read some of this nonsense.
I don't want to be upset.
Go
but...
read some of these 1 stars for us, Joe, because you're going to be floored.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
There's a theme in these 1-star reviews, and it's baffling.
Okay. God damn it.
You have to grab one of these. They're crazy. I went on there and I saw a lot of... Again, this is Why We Can't Have Nice Things. It's Joe's segment on our other show, Talking Trash, where we're trying to figure out why people do the things they do. And it's this thing where people always say 10 stars or 1 star. There's never a flaw, or it's just the worst thing I've ever seen. And I hate it. Now, we did give this a high review.
I'm already annoyed.
Yeah,
So...
there is a shitload of people fighting in these reviews, either 1 stars or 10 stars. It very rarely falls in the middle, but I will congratulate anybody who does give it in the middles, 5, 6s, whatever. I'm fine with that. When I see 1 star for directing, for acting alone is nonsense. But please, I hope you grab one of these ones that I saw.
Yeah, I'm already pissed off, so I was in a good mood. Son of a bitch.
Just read one for me.
All right, here it is. 1 out of 10. Flanagan does it again, all right. Another trash series. After the admittedly excellent Haunting of Hill House, except for the awful finale, he's now made 3 absolutely terrible shows. The failure of Blah Manor, Midnight Mess, and now the fall of quality TV. Midnight Mess contained endless scenes of people having long, extremely long, nonsensical diatribes that would terminally bore any normal person. Now we have this new trash emulating another trash show. Succession, featuring the biggest lowlifes ever seen on TV. So he's referencing Succession.
Which I did too.
And I also hate that show. But anyway.
Oh, jeez.
Usher has, again, endless, worthless conversations about nothing in particular. We easily bowed out after the first episode. I didn't have much hope for this, but I didn't think it would be this bad. If anybody is looking here for any type of horror, they will be sorely disappointed. Actually, if you're looking for any type of entertainment, then you should seek it elsewhere. You'll only find trash drivel. Avoid at all costs. Oh God, there's a lot of downvotes on that one.
So you didn't find the ones that I was talking about because there's a theme in these 1-star reviews about it being too sexual.
Okay, yes, a lot of unnecessary sex and nudity, which I'm not going to read those because I think sex and nudity are fine.
We can already that's a big segment of it, and I noticed that it is the certain political side, like I said. But what I really loved is the sexual thing because that is odd. Yes, I will say the characters are very, stuff that's behind closed doors. They are doing stuff. But let's face facts. That's happening.
Yes, it's
Stop
happening.
acting like it's not happening.
Yeah, like get over it. And also, there's a lot of people referencing that this is a ripoff of Succession. There are several reviews that reference that. Okay, whatever. I can't read anymore because I'm getting mad.
Yeah, and real fast, for anybody listening and hearing Joe say she hates Succession, what Joe really hates is the characters. The characters are terrible people, and that's why you're saying it. The show isn't terrible.
Okay, let me
it's the
rephrase.
characters.
Excuse me. Okay, let me rephrase. I don't like a show where the characters have zero repercussions for being pieces of trash.
Well, we didn't get to the end, so we don't know.
No, but they're already disgusting people. And it's just like the Dunhams or whatever you call them on Yellowstone. I can't stand it because you're going through episode upon episode upon episode of 5 seasons of just trash humans. It's like, how much trash can you possibly fucking watch?
So my question to you is, why do you like this so much? That's exactly what this is.
I mean, yeah, but
Trash
there's
humans.
there's comeuppance. Don't you understand that? This
but
is
we never
different.
got far enough to see the we could see that it's there. You
Okay.
knew they were setting it up.
This is different. There's a couple of reasons why, but
You can see what I'm getting at, though.
yes, but it's also a different. I don't know what it is, but when you have I'm just gonna say there's a villain set out to make sure that these people get their comeuppance.
Yeah.
That's different.
It's
than
different. Yeah, and
Succession
that's what I'm
or
saying.
Yellowstone.
The fact that someone's saying, "Oh, it's a ripoff," no. Succession is a ripoff of actual high society rich people.
Yeah.
So stop saying that. It's not.
Yes.
I wouldn't even call it a ripoff. It's an age-old tale. I mean, friggin' A. Scrooge is that character. You know, it's just so ridiculous to say that. It's very interesting to see people reacting to stuff. I really love hearing about the guy saying that he found dialogue boring. It's amazing. That's why people the Fast and the Furious franchise makes so much money.
Yes, that's what he's a twit and he can't pay attention. That's
It's
what
like
it is.
a guy's pouring his heart out in a dialogue, an entire monologue of just pouring his heart out, and people are complaining.
Yeah.
And that floors me.
It's like you shouldn't be
To
watching
me-
this kind of stuff if you have no common sense or any attention span whatsoever.
Yeah.
You know, just go watch Vin Diesel movies. You'll be fine. Fucking twit.
All
I'm
right.
sorry. It's the truth.
I think we ranted about the show and the ideas and stuff that we love and hate. Enough.
Yeah, you know, I mean, people who have listened to this podcast have actually known that I have a complete and utter disdain for the show Yellowstone. And there's reasons.
Oh my God! Don't
I'm just
start
saying-
that. People
no,
like it.
I'm just saying they that's fine. I'm not downing anyone if you do, but there are reasons that I don't like the show.
I'm with you
And,
on this.
You know, so I'm just saying I'm not putting anyone down when I'm saying that.
You can like
people-
what you like. We all do.
Yeah, you like what you like. I like trash. So I mean, I watch trash cinema like it's my job.
But we know it's trash.
Yes, indeed. But
Some people can't do that.
I'm just saying that I just want to give one shout out because I didn't mention this at all. One more shout out, one more good thing, so you can get me out of my hellhole of ranting about bad things. Anyway, I'm not even gonna say she's a child. She plays one, but her name is Kylie Curran, and she plays Lenore.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought she was
Yep.
Brilliant.
Another person who's worked with Flanagan before in Doctor Sleep.
Yes,
She's
she
the,
has.
the lead.
yep.
And yeah, she was fantastic. In that.
Fantastic.
It's very nice to see her again.
Yes, and I'd like to. She's just a beautiful girl, and she's got talent. And I appreciated her acting in this. It was great.
Yep. One of the highlights of the last 2 episodes.
Yep, that's what I got for you.
Yeah.
This show is fucking great.
You know, I was going to suggest that we should have done a couple TV shows that we watched recently, but then that would have gone on for 2 hours
No, I
when
have
we
to eat
talked
dinner.
about Ahsoka.
You promised to make me eggs, and you know what? I'm gonna tell you, Ahsoka.
Wait, no, don't start. I'm just going to say we
I don't-
probably could have done its own episode on that too.
You think because I don't care enough.
That's exactly what I would like to talk
You'll
about.
be talking the whole time, and I'll just be like,
Well, you already know how Joe feels, so we don't have to do that episode. All right, you know what, everybody? Thanks a lot for listening. Have a good one. We'll see you on the flip.
Reality's not what it used to be. All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. For example, do you see them too? Daydreams. Because I'm not sleeping at night, but that's an edge. As those who dream by day are cognizant of many things which escape those who dream only by night.
Grandpa, are you okay?
I am. I'm fine. I'm just... It's been quite a week.